everybody, and welcome back to the She-Hulk Fan Club podcast for the penultimate episode. Oh boy, I sure do hope we get a season 2, 3, 4, 5, and a movie, but for now, it's just season 1, episode 8. I am Simian She-Hulk, joined as always by Florian Himsel.
Yeah, man, this is clearly our bread and butter. I'm so glad we're here to once again discuss our favorite show, and it's gonna get the most views on this channel. It'll be great.
And She-Hulk's perhaps #1 biggest fan and defender, Eggy Eggman Rodriguez.
That's right, another smash hit right out of the park this week. I already knew before I even clicked play when they said ribbity ribbit, rip it. I knew it was going to be Kekistan, #1. That's She-Hulk's favorite political party. She's literally green.
Geez.
It is what it is.
And the most sexist member of the podcast, nothing but negative things to say about our feminine hero, E. Rich McCoy.
I just want to correct you on something you said earlier. It's 6 seasons and a movie, not 5 seasons and a movie.
Yeah, I would say She-Hulk is about as funny as season 4 of Community, so this does check out.
The gas leak season, yes.
And I mean, seasons 5 and 6, they didn't really recover very much. They just kept losing cast members. So I'm not.
I gave up.
Yeah, I'm not particularly excited for a movie when half of the show's runtime was just not good. So,
right,
like, whatever. Right. Hopefully Dan Harmon fucks a lot of babies in the movie. I know he's famous for that. That's like his big thing.
Yeah, that is the most hilarious thing he does, right?
Yeah, other than, what, Rick and Morty for you? Anyway, She-Hulk! Penultimate episode. Oh boy, they better start wrapping stuff up since they only have 1 episode left, right, boys? You know, I really felt like they were converging towards an ending here, and it definitely wasn't just meandering to the point where She-Hulk was looking at the camera saying, wait, why is this episode not over yet? Guys, what's going on? Shouldn't the episode be over?
It had to continue because our favorite Asian, the leader of Reddit.com, he was ready to backtrace her cyber points and call her a sexually liberated woman. That's what I'm going to say. He used other words when he was owning her with his epic command prompts opening up all over behind her during her award ceremony. But we had to make sure that Reddit stood loud and proud as the trolls they are at the very end there.
Yeah, is that the final boss of the show? We were trying to figure out if it would be Titiana, but it seems like just Reddit itself, like the internet haters, are the big bad villain of the season. Is that good enough, or are we expecting a twist in the final episode?
Well, that's not going to be possible because clearly the way they're doing it, they're not going to be a great boss because all they got is this. They blew their load. They
stole her blood.
Well, I think that Asian guy really did blow his load while she was asleep. Actually, anyway.
But yeah, they did the revenge porn. So clearly, all they're trying to do is just to troll her. So I really don't think that at that point they're gonna also have a boss fight.
Well,
I think that.
But if he stole her blood, the blood can make somebody become a Hulk. We've talked about this before. I think it's got to be Titiana at the end.
Is she going to be all hulked out by the end?
That would be my guess. You know, if we're making our epic predictions, should we place a bet? All of us give our predictions on how the show will end, and whoever comes closest has to play Ball Frog on Steam.
Well, in the comics, the Intelligentsia group, which is what this Reddit is called, that's coming after her, it was led by the leader. And we know that the leader is going to show up in the new Captain America movie. So
do we know
maybe
that?
It's the leader. Yeah. It was announced at Comic-Con.
Okay. Oh man, I'm so excited.
That's crazy that the far right internet people have someone who is the Führer. Really, literally the leader. That's amazing.
Yeah, his name is
Trump. A woman.
So the leader was actually in the first Incredible Hulk movie from 2008, the one with Edward Norton in it.
The only Marvel movie I have not watched and probably never will.
All right. Well, if you remember in that movie, he was working on Hulk's blood to figure out how to unhulk him. And near the end of that movie, some blood got into his brain or eye or something, and it started growing his brain big. And then in 2008, I guess they were trying to do a sequel tease for that, but nothing happened in the past 14 years to do anything with that. So,
Well, if he's got a giant brain grown up by Hulk blood, it makes sense he's a Redditor because he's extremely intelligent. He's getting that Reddit gold.
Yeah, the very first thing he did right after getting a big brain was signing up for Reddit.com.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think
the
we
Hulk
were.
blood,
Go ahead.
it's known for making you smart, right? The Hulk blood. How does that make sense?
Well, if the blood got into his brain and made that bigger instead of his muscles, it's like the comic where the guy says he works out at the library and his head is just like bulgingly huge. But we kind of blew our own load here by jumping straight to the end of the episode. There is plenty of meat to chew on here, especially with Daredevil finally coming into the show and proving immediately, not only is he like the superior lawyer, he's just the superior character. Like, I've never seen the Daredevil show, but after just watching one episode of She-Hulk, I think I might have to go back and watch it because the Daredevil character in this was pretty based.
It's great. Charlie Cox is great as Daredevil.
Is he the same actress in that show?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's bizarre.
Why is this show just She-Hulk getting mogged by every single new character or old character that comes on screen? Why is that the show they made?
Yeah, that is the theme of our podcast, is that every episode they introduce a new man that we all think is the best character in the episode, who just makes She-Hulk look like shit. Like Emil
Half of them fuck
Blonsky.
She-Hulk and then leave.
Yeah, I pointed out in our group chat, I think She-Hulk has had sex more in these 8 episodes than Kino Corner has in his entire life. So, if they're going to point out at the end, hey, She-Hulk, she's a slut. I mean, they're not necessarily wrong. I think she's the one who's in the wrong for being offended by it. She should embrace her slutty nature and say, yeah, you know what? I'll fuck any guy I've ever met on the first date. It's none of your fucking business. I'm the She-Hulk. But instead, she gets really offended by it. Like it's not true.
She should have pointed to that crowd and be like, I'll fuck all of you. I'll fuck you.
Yeah. Get in line on stage. I'll fuck you all right now.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the point where she hulked out and threatened people and broke shit and broke through walls to a point where she would get arrested by the cops, you would say that was wrong, really?
Yeah, I think she might have, she says that she always has emotional control and she's always angry, but as soon as somebody calls her a slut in public, she loses it completely and starts trying to kill people. Oops.
Yeah, did she try to kill anyone innocent or just those people wearing the masks which were probably in on it?
She's right, maskers. No, thank you.
Yeah, she said, you're wearing a mask in public? What a fucking freak. I'm going to kill you.
She's anti-mask. She doesn't like needles. Oh, man, they're really putting together a...
Yeah, and she falls for slut shaming. But the plot of this episode is that there's a great new superhero on the streets called the Leapfrog. And he reminded me of the sidekick in Peacemaker, like the guy who's always wearing the mask. I don't know, it's like a similar voice, but he's just like a real piece of shit asshole. He can't be a superhero properly, and then he accidentally blows himself up because he put jet fuel into his rocket propelled things instead of, I guess, normal gasoline, so he blows up. And he wants to sue the same cool tailor guy who made She-Hulk her outfit. So, real conflict of interest here. She has to sue somebody who has been helping her.
Yeah, that really
could have.
Go ahead.
I think this all could have been avoided if the tailor guy wasn't such a stuck-up prick. Like when he's coming in, she's like, so basically, it's just he's like, no, and everything I'd make is best, so perfect. Okay, I mean, he wasn't wrong. It wasn't.
Yeah, he was right.
But if he just heard her out, I mean, it's just like, okay, let's see what's going on here. Listen, I've had to work in certain lines of work before where you have to hear somebody out. What they're saying isn't making sense, but you hear them out, and okay, that's the reason. Well, this guy's so up his own ass just because he can make some kind of material that stretches and then unstretches, so can Mike Lindell, and he doesn't get away with a lot of things, so I think he should have just taken it down a couple notches. Obviously it's a show and needs to have a plot, but I'm just saying.
Well, in my humble monkey opinion, Luke Jacobson, the tailor, he did nothing wrong here. He was right from the beginning. The person who I blame is Jen's boss, who, for the 5th time in this show, does not care that there's a conflict of interest, does not care about anything Jen has to say. You would think that the president of a legal firm would be a little more level-headed, but no, he says, Jen, I don't want to hear a single thing you have to say, just go do the job or you're fired. He's basically in season 1 of Better Call Saul, we all thought that Howard Hamlin was like this terrible prick and he's really mean to Kim and Jimmy. But it turns out, epic twist, he's a 3-dimensional character and there was more to it. Why do I get the haunting suspicion that this character in She-Hulk is just going to end up being one-dimensional and have nothing behind his idiocy here?
Well, surely we can expect Better Call Saul level of writing to come eventually, okay? Just a few more seasons. It's gotten better with every episode, okay? It's gonna be the best thing ever by the end.
Yeah, by season 14, if this trajectory continues, it will be the greatest show ever made.
Hell yeah. Yeah, but no, the Taylor was really ridiculous, but also, I guess
How's
Jen
it ridiculous? They're accusing him of making a faulty thing that injured somebody, but it turns out the guy using it was using it incorrectly. So I think the Taylor was in the right the whole time. Somebody threatens you with a lawsuit and you didn't do anything wrong, I would tell them, get the fuck off my porch, motherfucker! Get out of here!
Yeah.
Fuck you!
I will.
So you actually get sued instead of
I've been
settling?
threatened with lawsuits before that were bullshit, and I just tell them, get the fuck away from me! You can't serve those papers if I slam the door in your face, bitch! Leave!
That's right.
Yeah, they can.
They have to hand it directly to you. If somebody ever shows up and they ask you, are you so-and-so, like they say your name, just say no and shut the door. They literally cannot sue you if you do that.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah, it is insane, but it's true.
Why does anyone get sued? That can't be right.
Wow. It happened to me.
Really? And that's how they couldn't sue you? Because you didn't open the papers?
I said, fuck off. Fuck off, ghost.
It's kind of like in America, it's like football. It's like they gotta hand you the ball for you to get a touchdown. You have to have they have to really hand you that paper and like present it to you for it to like click. So actually, yeah, there's certain places you can go, certain locking yourself in your room with many padlocks. As long as you got enough room and enough bottles to pee and poo in, they'll have to sit out there and wait for a lot of days.
Yeah, wow. Luke Jacobson did nothing wrong, and he was redeemed in court. It was proven that he did not make a faulty mechanic. So, I don't know how you guys could be against him in this situation. He's falsely accused, and he defended himself.
I just thought he was a prick. That's all.
They could have easily talked it out. It would have been no problem. But also, Jen also fucked up because she just outright said it was like his faulty stuff.
Yeah.
But she should have said allegedly or whatever. Or
it was trampling all over a man's lived experiences, a fashion designer of color, and that was a heckin' yikes for me. But to be fair, she said she wasn't suing him. She's like, let's talk it out. And he's like, oh, no, it's perfect. No.
Yeah, that's usually what you want. Like unless the lawyer would have just taken it to court, or I guess someone who doesn't know him. So like this would have been really good to just hash it out.
Well, yeah, but then after he, defends himself properly like any man would, Jen, She-Hulk herself becomes very vindictive, and like now she is dedicated to ruining this Taylor's life, and like she really wants to get him. And that's what leads to her completely embarrassing herself in court. Thankfully, Luke Jacobson has Daredevil as his lawyer. I do want to point out not necessarily a plot hole, but a Wikipedia hole. You guys may recall in episode 1 or 2 of this podcast, and most of you were not even here for that, but we were reading the Wikipedia for She-Hulk, and it said that Daredevil in the show would be Jen's best friend. But he's introduced here. They don't even know each other. They've never met before.
That's very odd.
What the fuck?
Somebody's oversight or fan fiction ending up on Wikipedia.
On Wikipedia. Just a complete blatant lie about the character.
Well, it seems to be true now. Seems like they got the chemistry going,
And they fuck.
Actually, everyone you fuck is your best friend. So
true. That's why me and Erich are so close.
Daredevil's like, well, I can't see you, and that's the best part.
I don't care what color you are. I'm blind.
Well, I guess he just sees the shape, yeah.
But here in court is, in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, this is Jen Walters at her lowest moment ever. Like, the most irredeemable, horrible thing she's ever done. she says the only way that we can go forward with this court proceeding is if Luke Jacobson, the tailor for all of the top secret superheroes, in the area, we can only do this if he doxes them and we get the private information, the full name and address of every single superhero who goes to him for a costume. Am I taking crazy pills, or is that just like irredeemable? She wants to dox superheroes to win a court case where she's in the wrong?
That's what the Sokovia Accords is about, right? It's like you have to be like answerable to some kind of authority.
Yeah, and we had a whole movie about how that's bullshit, and we're gonna beat the fuck out of you at an airport.
And actually, what Daredevil brings up is that the Sokovia Accords have been taken down. Like that's not the rule of the day anymore.
Are you guys not as offended by doxing superheroes as I am?
Well, I actually think that the whole secret personality is so fucking lame that I'm actually glad if they get doxed, okay? And that was the best part of Spider-Man, was when he got doxed. I sure wish he hadn't ruined reality in order to hide his identity again.
Oh yeah, that movie was stupid as fuck.
It would have been hilarious if he did that, and then in She-Hulk is where he gets doxed again. Imagine.
She-Hulk's court filings have Peter Parker is Spider-Man on.
Oh yeah, I don't think Luke Jacobson's making the Spider-Man outfit.
Well, you never know. I think Stark made the Iron Spider. Maybe he works together with him.
Yeah.
He has that new suit at the end of Far From Home, or No Way Home. Maybe Luke Jacobson made it for him.
And he went all the way to LA from New York.
Yeah.
Eggy, what about you? What do you think about this whole court proceeding?
Well, I will say that was very heavy-handed. I think that the writers, they have been watching the podcast somehow in the future, and they realized that I was complimenting a woman character too much, so they had to make her do the stupidest thing with absolutely no real foresight, and made me realize that women shouldn't be lawyers again. Obviously, some people might say it's a strong opinion, but She-Hulk has radicalized me now by her heavy-handed ways, her targeting a poor, innocent designer of color. It really just microaggressed me, and now that's how I feel.
That's right. This show is single-handedly setting female lawyers back by like 10 decades.
Well, I wish we had.
Years.
Yeah.
Well, I wish we had
1922.
That's right.
Oh wow! Wait, that's not 100. Right?
It's not.
I wish
A decade is 10 years. 10 times 10 is 100.
European math.
Right.
Another reason why She-Hulk shouldn't be a lawyer.
Well, I wish we had Weekend Warrior here so he could tell us that a lawyer has indeed to do all the objectionable, all the horrible things that the client asks for, okay? And I'm sure she had to do that because it's in the best interest of the client, so...
I mean, ultimately, it is a good thing that the boss did not listen to her conflict of interest, because her incompetence is what leads to justice being fulfilled. Thankfully, Daredevil, much like Joe Biden in My Son Hunter, he has the superpower of super smelling. He can smell anything from across the room, and he's able to somehow smell that the other guy, the leapfrog, was using jet fuel to melt his steel beams instead of the proper gasoline, and that's ultimately what wins the day, is that he was using the wrong fuel.
Now, we know that Daredevil has a canonic reason for going blind, but if he's been huffing various forms of petroleum byproducts, that might have also not been so good for his well-being to begin with. But I've been there. I understand it smells really good. Listen, kids, don't be Rama Rama. It's messing up your brains. Thank you.
Yeah, gasoline, strangely, pretty good smell. I'm not going to lie.
Wow, I could stand there all day smelling that gasoline. What the fuck are you talking about? It smells great.
Yeah, get me a rag full of gasoline. I'll sit there and huff and puff on that bad boy all day.
That's right.
What could go wrong? Well, I'm going to go blind?
Well,
you could be Daredevil.
Hell yeah.
Oh no. Well, I'm sure anyone could smell gasoline or jet fuel, right? That can't be too hard.
Meanwhile, it's after the court case. She-Hulk has been humiliated in court yet again, and one of the guys from the Blind Date episode, the guy who I pointed out as being horrifically ugly and nobody believed me, well, guess what? He's back for this episode. and at one point he does the Wakanda Forever salute and says Wakanda Forever, and She-Hulk gets extremely uncomfortable that a Jewish man would dare do the Wakanda Forever salute.
Well, I can't believe you thought he was that ugly, Jesus.
Compared to the Chads that they had lined up, like, this actor has been in some other stuff. I think he played the ugly guy in the Baywatch movie. He played the ugly guy in some TV show I watched, like Hollywood, Florida or something. I think it's him. He's usually cast as playing like the weird dweeby guy, but I guess Florian thinks he's hot.
Well, I mean, at least he was well dressed because he was rich, so definitely
you
made
saw
up for
yourself
something.
in the character.
Florian's bar is on the floor. As long as you're wearing good-looking clothes, he is down.
Well, as long as you're rich, really. Like, he'll defend any rich person no matter what.
Yeah, let my people go. Come on.
Now, why is She-Hulk offended that, a white Jewish man would be an ally for black people and say Wakanda Forever? I thought that was, everybody in the world was allowed to do that.
Well, he was trying to buy up their rare spears, even though it should belong to them.
Well, he said, you know what? It's racially insensitive for them to be chucking spears. Maybe I should hold on to this for them so nobody makes that joke.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that tweet where like some white liberal mom said, like, told her the 6-year-old daughter that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had died, and then the daughter like
Ruth Conda Forever.
Yeah, Ruth Conda Forever. So that's okay, but not when this Jewish guy does it. What the fuck?
Clearly, that anti-Semitism that's bubbling up from Kanye West definitely hit She-Hulk right in the cerebral cortex. She's been a lawyer. She sees a lot of Jewish people every single day. She's building up resentment, but she can't say anything. And finally, she sees a soft target. He's just trying to support his allies of color. And she's like, I got a salute for you, but it's not that.
Well, it'd be pretty weird anyways, because Wakanda is supposed to be the most advanced nation on Earth, right? So you wouldn't even be cringe for, like, admiring them.
Yeah. Yeah, like She-Hulk is like using a real world response that does not work in the world she lives in. Like if I saw a white person doing Wakanda Forever here and on our planet, I would cringe. But in this world, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe he is supporting poor Black Panther who died of ass cancer, and that's the best way he can. Hopefully, that's how he dies in the movie too.
Wait, is that actually what happened to him? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did he have wait, what? What kind of cancer did he have?
Ass cancer.
Really?
In real life, he did, yeah. That's not a joke.
He had colon cancer. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, it is rough.
That's horrible.
It is horrible, yeah. Anyway, speaking of horrible, should we move past this dinner scene, or did you guys have more points? Because She-Hulk becomes even more irredeemable very soon.
Well,
I'm just here to talk about Daredevil. I do not give a shit.
Okay, so let's get to the Daredevil scene. Leapfrog kidnaps Luke Jacobson. If he can't win in court, he's just going to kidnap him for some reason. And She-Hulk has to, go investigate. But Daredevil's there too, and they start fighting each other. Now, I have to say, the fact that Daredevil is fighting and kind of pretty much winning against a literal Hulk monster is very impressive, especially since he's blind. And I'm really wanting to go watch this Daredevil show, though. Like, if it's like even slightly better than this, which I'm sure it has to be, it's probably pretty good.
Is it actually canon with the Marvel movies?
What?
E-Rich, do you know?
We have
the show.
The show. We have to assume it's somewhat canon. Like we don't really know all the elements of it yet, but we know that Kingpin's there. We know they kind of play his like theme song when he comes in the show here. So we can kind of assume that it's mostly canon.
But anyway, here's where She-Hulk does her second irredeemable act of the episode. Let me ask the panel, if a man is running away from the police, like his back is to the officer, and the officer pulls out a gun and shoots him in the back, nobody's on the officer's side, right? Like you don't shoot a retreating man?
Well, I guess sometimes you might if he's still armed. No.
You only shoot somebody if you're in immediate danger, not if they're running away.
No, if they're going to be a danger to someone else, you can still shoot them.
Okay, well, that does not apply here because Daredevil is trying to run away to go save the kidnapped man, and She-Hulk picks up a random fucking $80,000 car.
Someone's car.
And throws it at him, completely totaling, destroying the car, misses him anyway. If she would have hit him, what, he's dead now? You're going to destroy somebody's expensive property and murder a man who's running away from you, who has done nothing wrong. Like, am I supposed to be on She-Hulk's side? How pissed would you be if the She-Hulk destroyed your car trying to murder a man?
Well, and she says she's going to leave a note, but, like, the note does not do anything for that car owner.
Nothing!
Well, it would be a note where they could call her to sue her or like tell her insurance, I guess.
Yeah, this shit is insane.
Well, but he's still going after the leapfrog, so I guess that's some justification.
But the leapfrog's a kidnapper. The Daredevil's the only hero in the entire episode. Everybody else, including She-Hulk, is the villain.
Oh, please, he's wearing a devil costume. Why would you think that this is the hero?
What does that have to do with anything?
Why would you assume he's a hero? He's trying to.
You wear a Nazi uniform and you're still a hero?
He's attacking her client. What do you want, man?
Her client who has kidnapped a man.
Well, she doesn't know that.
Yeah, so she shoots first and asks questions later, huh?
Well,
do
you think that the cops would not save you because you might have kidnapped someone? Do you think that's how it should go?
I don't think the cops should shoot you in the back when you're running to save a kidnapped victim. The entire Oovdale police force was just laid off. She-Hulk should be laid off. She's that incompetent.
But if you know that he is going after this man, and you have a way of stopping him, do you really think you shouldn't stop him? She
is the She-Hulk. She can run faster than him. Why destroy somebody's car?
Well, yeah, obviously that's a problem.
Yeah. You think?
Is she actually fast? I don't know if you've seen her run fast.
If you've ever seen the Hulk jump around, they're incredibly fast.
Well, I mean,
this was just because they wanted the show itself wanted a scene where she throws a car and it gets totaled because it's lay epic on screen action, and they didn't even think that it makes the character look like an irredeemable stupid cunt.
Yeah, it was really insane. Look, seeing her actually pick up that car, what on earth was she thinking?
What if there was a child in that car? She didn't even look to check. She didn't give it any thought at all. She was ready to kill.
There's a note on the window that says, "Don't worry, the AC is on. My dog is fine. He has food and water."
His favorite music is playing. Yeah,
yeah, and she looks like, "Fuck this dog," and she just totals the car. Whatever.
Yep, murder.
So She-Hulk and the Daredevil, they decide, you know what? Let's team up. Let's have some juicy sex, and let's go save Luke Jacobson. And then we have more wacky hijinks at the warehouse full of goons, and they have a conversation about the difference between a henchman and a goon. Did this check out for you, E-Rich?
What did they say the difference was?
An underling believes in in what the boss is doing, and a goon is just like a hired gun.
Just a hired gun, okay.
Which is why Littlefinger was so confused. Like, a lot of loyalty for a hired gun. You're not even an underling. You're just hired.
Yeah, true. That does comport with my main Waystar, which is, of course, the Bane scene from Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Well, sure was pedantic of him to point that out, but all right, I guess.
Yeah, it was basically it's like Han Solo saying, "That's not how the Force works." And I'm like, can we just move on to the next scene? I don't need this.
So this is a much more quippy, much more acrobatic version of Daredevil, and I kind of didn't mind it. He's very depressed and very gruff in the Netflix version of the character. But I think that this worked perfectly fine for Daredevil. Did anybody have problems with how game he was with She-Hulk to bat back and forth with her?
No, I thought it was cool. I like when he jumps off the roof and then grabs the window and is able to go in one fell motion. Daredevil's awesome in this show. I wish we were watching his show instead of She-Hulk.
I remember watching 1 or 2 episodes and I thought it was incredibly boring, but I guess I guess with modern standards, it might hold up. I don't know.
Yeah, compared to She-Hulk, it's a motherfucking masterpiece.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
With all media, all you have to do is wait 5 years, and then it looks amazing compared to the stuff that comes out later.
That's what happened with Pixels.
Yeah, we just reviewed that, and it was amazing. Can you believe it, Erich?
I cannot.
Speaking of having a lot of loyalty for a hired gun, for some reason, all of the goons who they have to fight do not have guns. They're just carrying fucking crowbars. What is happening? Why are all of your guards around your headquarters just carrying fucking crowbars? Who is that supposed to stop? Why don't they have guns?
Well, it is New York City, where they hate freedom, so I think it's really hard to get a gun over there. So that, to me,
it is in New York City, is it? This is in L.A.
Whatever. All these liberal cities, it's the same thing to me. You know, they hate freedom. They hate all things that are good and fun. So that's why you can't have a gun.
I mean, I would assume the reason is if Daredevil gets shot, he's dead. So like, oh well, we can't put him up against somebody he can't beat. Let's just give him all crowbars.
Well, I'm sure he's been up against people with guns before, but I think it's because Leapfrog is actually in his mind a hero. He thinks he's a hero, so he doesn't use guns. I don't know.
What, they beat people with crowbars because they're heroic?
Well, you gotta use some kind of weapon.
Yeah,
Batman
gun.
beats people too. Well, if you use a gun,
the police aren't use guns. Our police are supposed to be heroes. Why do they get guns?
Well, I guess not. Well, DC heroes wouldn't do it that way, but I guess Iron Man uses guns. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Iron Man uses guns?
Well, he shoots like rockets and stuff.
That's not a gun.
It's basically a gun. Come on.
Well, he shoots very small rockets sometimes.
In Iron Man 2, when the two Iron Men are fighting all those robots, they're shooting them with guns for sure, like machine guns.
War Machine definitely has guns.
Yeah.
But I don't think.
Oh, so the black
Iron
guy
Man
gets a gun, huh?
Yeah. That's how it should work.
They call him Iron Man because he keep that Iron Man.
Do we have any other thoughts on this scene saving the day, or should we move on to the slut-shaming ending?
The universal rule of this show is that the action is not particularly good. I don't think this episode was breaking any records for action in the MCU. They do a kind of hallway fight, which is the calling card of Daredevil in the Netflix shows, and it's just the worst one that they've ever done with Daredevil.
Yeah, what were they thinking? Because I have not seen Daredevil, but even I know, like, they have a very famous tracking shot in a hallway fighting.
Yeah.
Why would they even try to attempt it again if it's just four guys with crowbars and it's just as lame as fucking possible? Like, it would have been better if they didn't have that callback, because then I'm comparing it to a better scene.
If you're not going to live up to it, then don't try it.
My favorite part was when She-Hulk crashed through the ceiling, ending that fight scene. That was good.
Oh yeah, it was. I was thankful that they were gracious enough to end it early and just have like a comedy moment end that bullshit scene.
It's funny anyways how he's incompetent, because he was like trying to sneak around, but then he just alerts backup. So like, obviously everyone knows you're here now, and then She-Hulk smashes the wall, and he's like, "How could you break stealth, woman? Like really?" You already alerted them, man. What do you want?
So they save the day, and then it's like very awkward. There's like 3 minutes of very awkward scenes where She-Hulk is, she always talks to the camera and she's asking, why is this episode still going? I feel like we wrapped it up. Why isn't the episode over? And I'm like, yeah, She-Hulk, I'm with you. Why the fuck isn't this shit over yet?
I'm asking that at every moment of every episode.
Well, I saw to begin with that it was a long episode. She-Hulk, why don't you check your timeline?
Yeah, she clearly knows she's on a show, so, just
she
read
should have looked down to the bottom side of the frame and seen the time bar.
She pulls out a TV guide to read the plot of this week's episode.
But I thought the joke was funny at first, but then she did it for like 5 minutes, and that sucked.
Yeah, it was too much. But
it's always too much with her.
The best part of the episode for me is at the end, she's going to this big shindig, this big fancy ball, and she's going to win the award for Female Lawyer of the Year. And if this wasn't the most red-pilled, based, hilarious moment in TV history, I don't know what else would be. But they're announcing the winner, and Jen thinks it's just going to be her, but it turns out every single female lawyer in attendance also wins the award for Female Lawyer of the Year. So it's just a participation trophy, and they're all lined up on stage, and like each woman gets like 10 seconds to say something.
I like that they call her name first, and she like stands up and then starts like beaming, and then they start reading everyone else's name. That's really funny.
Yeah, how did they troll her like that? That's amazing. No, she's the only one who does a good speech, I guess.
Oh, what? She can't share the recognition with her fellow female lawyers, Florian? You know, in my opinion, every woman on Earth is the woman of the year. Why not?
I bet.
That's right.
And of course, this great ceremony goes awry when they hack the PowerPoint presentation in the background to show footage of Jen fucking the Asian guy in the previous episode, and the two anonymous members are like, Jen Walters is a slut, the She-Hulk is a slut, and she just completely loses control.
I started applauding at my television when that happened. I was like, that's right.
Man, I would have been so worried, and then all they had was revenge porn. I don't know why she even freaked out at that. Like, wow, you're gonna see some hot sex. Wow, avert your eyes, kids.
Getting that Shahulkissy clapped, them cheeks beat down at the lawyer conference for the best lawyer, and I mean, honestly, it's a little embarrassing. I know it's 2022, but still, I think we're all a little conservative here, especially Jen Walters. I think we were all a little embarrassed.
I don't know. She's a 40-year-old woman. Are we not mature enough to accept that every adult human, I mean, well, a few exceptions, but like every adult has sex all the time? Like, if she was a teenager, I could see her being embarrassed by this, but it's like, what? Some fucking weirdo who I had sex with filmed me secretly, and I'm supposed to feel bad about that? Like, I'm the victim here. I'm not a fucking slut. I'm just a human.
Yeah, she's like, so what? I have sex. So what?
That's what she should do, but she instead freaks out and tries to kill everybody.
Yeah, she's like, what is this supposed to mean? Like, who is this going after? I don't know.
Yeah, I assumed there would be something more to this reveal, but it really was just revenge porn. Yeah. It was so ridiculous that she freaked out at that.
Like, dude, you're 40 years old. Get over it.
Yep. Yeah. Especially at this stupid award. Like, who cares? It's not like the Oscars or whatever.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to get fired from your job. Like, is there a clause in your contract at work that says you're not allowed to ever have sex? Like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, it's not like she's going to be that guy that Will Smith smacked, and everyone's going to meme about it.
You don't know Chris Rock's name?
I forgot, okay? Could have been anyone.
And they all look the same to you, huh?
Wow.
Like, why did Will Smith slap a clone of himself on stage?
Yeah, it was weird. Are we watching Gemini Man?
Do we have any other thoughts on this great episode? I will say the whole ending scene with like the revenge porn stuff, that has been going viral on Twitter. And the response is not the response I had. Like, people are like, why would anybody watch this garbage? This is terrible. What the fuck has the MCU come to? Whereas, as a She-Hulk viewer here, an avid watcher of every episode, I thought this was one of the most keynote scenes in the entire show. And I think it's pretty based that the plot was this epic revenge porn shown at the Greatest Female Lawyer conference. I thought it was awesome and hilarious.
Yeah, people don't know what we've been watching. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, how have they not watched She-Hulk? They're really missing out.
It was definitely further than I thought this show would go with it. I mean, I guess they definitely hinted that that's what they were doing when she was sleeping and he was taking video footage. Or he took her blood there. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the wider plot here is, but using revenge porn against her is something that I didn't think the show would touch on. So
yeah, it's unexpected and very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, when she was doing that stupid fourth wall break, she was like, oh yeah, do you think we'll have a finale where there's a Red Hulk? And like, so I guess that means she's challenging us and saying she's definitely going to do something way cooler than that, so.
Yeah, she's going to get arrested for trying to murder people.
Yeah, maybe the final boss is the justice system, and she just has to defend herself.
It's gonna end like Better Call Saul, and she's gonna just accept her fate and go to prison, and it ends with her doing finger guns as the She-Hulk.
Yep, exactly the same.
Okay, we've wrapped up that episode. Now, do we have any actual predictions for the finale? Like, who knows what's gonna happen here?
I mean, I do think the leader has something to do with the intelligentsia stuff, but I think that there's no way they don't bring back Titania, Titania, whatever.
Titiana.
Titiana. There's no way that she doesn't come back in here. I think the entire season plot has been incredibly weak overall because Titiana just shows up and is there. There really is very little through line for it, but she has to show up again. I don't think there's any other way they do that.
Is there any chance we see more of Bruce Banner? Because he just disappeared like in episode 2, and we'll probably never see.
Maybe there'll be a post-credit scene of him, but I don't think he'll be in the main show.
They stopped doing post-credit scenes like halfway through the season.
Oh,
It's so weird, because I think they said originally like there would be one in every episode, and then it just stopped. It like stopped halfway through.
Was the backlash to the twerking post-credit scene so much that they just removed the rest of them? Like, were the rest of them like worse than that? And they're like, okay, we have to stop. We can't let this be seen.
Don't know.
Wait, no, that can't be right because they're actually proud of the twerking scene.
Well, then why remove all the post-credit scenes?
You guys remember those scenes at the start where it's like, oh, you're gonna do a lawyer show? Where are you gonna go with that? And then they cut to the twerking scene. So I don't know. It would be really sad if they had cut out all those hilarious end credit scenes.
Yeah. Hopefully we get another one in the finale.
Yeah, maybe we'll get all of them at once. They'll all be revealed.
The entire finale is just post-credit scenes stitched together.
The show starts as credits, and then it's just post credits.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild to think what might happen to the Hulk. You don't think he's just going to be in space in his own movie at some point?
I guess we'll see in Avengers Secret Wars or whatever the fuck. The Kang Dynasty. They have two Avengers movies coming out in the same year, evidently.
Yeah.
Well, what
2025,
year?
I think. 2025.
I can't wait that long, Dan.
Yes, you can.
Well,
I need it now.
Boys, we did it. We have 8 episodes of She-Hulk reviewed. Only 1 left. I, for one, am glad that this is almost over and that we never have to talk about She-Hulk again.
Well, we're gonna do season 2, right?
I don't know if the show's gonna get its season 2. I really hope not. I think I've seen enough.
It must have made its money back.
Here, just make the Daredevil show and let Jen show up in episode 8, for 10 minutes. That's all we need. Let's keep it fair.
Maybe they have it all planned out and she has 3 seasons before she appears in the Avengers, okay? It all leads up to her being the leader of the Avengers now or something. It'll be great,
leader?
You'll see.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. I guess if Black Widow can do it, anybody can.
Was she gonna be the leader?
She was the leader in the last Avengers movie when everybody else was dead.
Oh.
But does anybody have any final thoughts before we say goodbye? Okay,
This
good.
show
Bye,
has
everybody.
Oh, peace.
Go ahead, E-Rich.
Show has been overall very mediocre. I'm kind of shocked at how little they really care about the court aspect of the show, and I don't think that's going to change next episode. So I think I can pretty confidently say they did a bad court show. They did an all right comedy at times, and I'm surprised at how low they've brought She-Hulk as a character.
Yeah.
Well, I like her tracksuit outfit, okay? That was pretty cute.
Okay.
Yep. Straight to the spank bank, all right?
God.
That's right.
Oh my God.
What about you, Eggy?
Yeah, this one was, it was all right. It was pretty much par for the course. It didn't really wow me. There wasn't any true Tinder Kino or anything like that. It was pretty middle of the road. I watched it. The action. I do enjoy some good generic action, so I'll give it this one episode that. So I can at least have that in its favor. Otherwise, I'm ready for that finale. I'm ready to be completely blown away and totally wowed.
Yeah, let's jump into WoW. I can't wait. You guys
right.
want to plug anything?
Hey guys, I'm doing a new podcast called Game or Lame. I was supposed to do an episode today, but the guy was sick, but it'll come out soon, alright?
Wow.
Yeah, we've already got 4 episodes. Please watch.
Now, is Ballfrog itself game or lame?
It's obviously the best game ever. Are you going to come on there and debate us on that?
No, there's nothing to debate. I can't play it because I'm stupid.
Wow.
It's a game only for, Rick and Morty fans. You need to have the highest IQ to even understand.
Yeah, pick a frog. Yeah.
What about you, E-Rich?
You can find me on Twitter at TZARREVAN. Go ahead and hit me up and talk about how great Charlie Cox is.
True. What about you, Eggy?
Well, make sure you go check out my new hit song, Get the Bags. It's Hard Man Working Hard featuring Egg White. It's the anthem about being a secret agent that goes on a mission to steal Abigail Shapiro's stored breast milk.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a listen.
They're calling it the smash hit of the year. You know what? We're closing out 2022 with some real hot heat. So, Hard Men Working Hard featuring Egg White. Get the bags. Go give it a listen.
Yeah, I'll drop
Hot heat as opposed to cold heat.
Yep, I'm gonna drop a link to that in the description. And for She-Hulk, for almost the final time, I've been Simian Jimmy.
Goodbye, everyone.
Eggy Rodriguez, a peace.